What's going on, Commanders fans? I can't say what's good, Commanders fans, because nothing's good at the moment. But like I said before, I did not get my hopes up. I'm really thinking more and more it's going to be Teddy Bridgewater and a rookie quarterback. I think that's what it's going to end up being. Ron Rivera, strike one, Aaron Rodgers, 4-year, $200 million deal. Strike two, Russell Wilson going to the Broncos. So he's got strike three. Deshaun Watson is coming up. He's about to strike out. He's very close from striking out because Ron, this is the thing with Ron. He did a lot of talking to the media, and now the fans are going to get upset. The fans are going to get pissed off, and there's going to be zero people at FedEx Field next season. There's going to be zero people at FedEx Field. But yeah, this kind of was, I'm not going to say this was out of Ron's control. Ron did make an offer. So the offer is, let's look at the offer real quick. The Broncos get Russell Wilson and a 4th round pick. The Seahawks get 2 first rounders, 2 second rounders, a 5th rounder, Drew Lock, Shelby Harris, and Noah Fant. Noah Fant's a solid tight end. Shelby Harris is a solid defensive lineman. Drew Lock, 2nd round pick, hasn't really worked out. He's not a franchise guy. And they get the Broncos 1st round pick, which is ahead of Washington, which is ahead of us. We have pick 11. The Broncos have pick 9, if I'm not mistaken. So they can get a quarterback. They can still draft a quarterback before us. They can double whammy us, basically. They can draft a quarterback before us. The Seahawks now get that Broncos pick. So now it can be a double whammy for the Washington Commanders, double whammy. I hate that I'm saying that word. I remember that old game back in the day. But they can basically mess us up again. The Broncos can. The Seahawks can mess us up by drafting a quarterback before the Washington Commanders. They can get Kenny Pickett or Matt Corral or Malik Willis. So now we might possibly have to trade up to get a quarterback above the Seattle Seahawks. And it's crazy because Pete Carroll said we're not going to trade him. Their GM Schneider said, we're most likely not, but we're listening. We're going to be listening. We're going to pick up the phone. So basically, Pete Carroll did not tell the truth. We already know it's rumor season right now. Guys say what they don't want to play their cards, but Ron Rivera has been playing his cards 110%, playing his cards. And let's listen to Albert Breer. He said he said what our offer was. He didn't specifically say what the offer was, but let's go over the offer that we gave up. He says the Washington Commanders offered high picks in the next 3 drafts to the Seahawks for quarterback Russell Wilson per sources, but it became apparent to the Commanders that Seattle preferred to trade him out of the NFC. So Washington's quarterback hunt continued. So basically, they didn't want to trade him to the AFC, which makes sense. I would not want to trade him to the NFC or within the NFC. They wanted to get him out of the conference, which definitely makes sense. Now, Russell Wilson himself, this is from Ian Rappaport, saying that he chose Denver over Washington. He wanted to go to the Broncos because they had young talent at the wide receiver position. Jerry Jeudy, Tim Patrick, Cortland Sutton, KJ Hamler. That's a fact. They have way more talent at wide receiver than we do. And that's a fact. That's what I talked about. This is why I'm not scared to go after an Amari, or I'm not going to stick my nose up after going after an Amari Cooper, because you look at our weaponry, and of course Russell Wilson's going to look at that and be like, hey, I'd rather go to Denver rather than going to Washington. Why would I come to D.C. and all they got really is Terry McLaurin and a banged-up Curtis Samuel that you can't rely on, and a De'Ami Brown where we're wishing and hoping that he can develop, but he needs a quarterback that can develop him. And Russell Wilson, he wants to win now. He wants to be closer. Now, the thing about Russ in his decision-making is now he's going to a division with Justin Herbert, Pat Mahomes. He's going to have to play those guys twice a year. And Derek Carr, who is a top 15 quarterback, who I would love to have Derek Carr. So he's going to have to play all those teams twice a year. And they got Josh Allen in that conference. It's a loaded conference. So he could have came to the NFC East, Lamar Jackson, Joe Burrow, et cetera, et cetera. They got a lot of good quarterbacks in the AFC compared to the NFC, where Tom Brady just retired, Drew Brees retired. A lot of guys are leaving year after year in the NFC. So Russell Wilson, he would have been the best quarterback in the NFC in the NFC East if he would have came to the Commanders. Now Ron Rivera, that seat, man, is going to get hard, man. It's going to get hot. That seat is going to get hot very quickly once he strikes out. Unless one of these rookie quarterbacks can really show out year 1, year 2, and show some type of potential, that's the only way his job can really be saved after they strike out. Now, Deshaun Watson, he's just going to have to do whatever it takes You cannot get beat out on an offer, and he cannot. There's going to be no excuse about the AFC NFC thing because we're in the NFC. So of course the Texans would rather trade him to the NFC. So there's going to be no excuse about conferences here. There's going to be no excuse. You're just going to have to give up. You're going to have to give up some players. It is what it is. You're going to have to part ways with some players, probably on the defensive line that you don't want to trade for Deshaun Watson. And this shows you guys. A lot of people are like, hey, 3 first-round picks is too much for Russell Wilson. 3 first-round picks. But this tells you guys, hey, if you want an elite quarterback, you're going to have to swing big. Hey, go big or go home. Go big or go home, man. I'm telling you, go big or go home. So you got to put your money where your mouth is. You got to pay to play. You got to pay to play. If you want to get the big guys and the big players, you can't try to swindle other teams. That's not how it works. You're going to have to give up multiple picks. You're going to have to give up players, and Taylor Heineke, the Seahawks are looking at us. They wanted Drew Lock, which is not a good return, but they did get multiple picks. They got Noah Fant and they got some other guys as well. But it's disappointing. But like I said, I didn't want to get my hopes up. It is what it is. The last chance is Deshaun Watson, and then after that, we're just going to be in the quarterback wilderness. It's going to be guys like Mitchell Trubisky, Jimmy G, Teddy B, Dalton, Marcus Mariota. Those are the realest options that we're really staring in the face right now in drafting a rookie guy and drafting a rookie quarterback. That's where we are right now. We are in quarterback twilight zone, quarterback purgatory right now. But like I said, I'm not going to get too mad because Russ, he chose Denver over us. That's what he wanted to do. That's where he wanted to go. So, it is what it is on this. But, yeah, can we be disappointed? Sure. But I'm not going to get too much mad at Ron because, Russell Wilson had a no-trade clause, and he chose Denver over us. So we gotta have better roster construction as well so we can be more attractive to bring quarterbacks here as well. So, but like I said, we got one more shot with the big 3. Deshaun Watson, we'll see what happens with the legalities, if he's cleared or not or whatever happens. But yeah, that's it, man. Like I said, it's hard not to be disappointed, but it is what it is. This is where Russ wanted to go. Like I said, Sierra, she didn't have much to do with it because, Denver's a beautiful city, but it's not like, oh man, I just want to go to Denver. Denver's a nice place though. No knock on Denver. But, everybody said that they're going to be, we cannot let Philly, we cannot let the Eagles outbid us for Deshaun Watson or New York. I'm telling you, one of those teams are going to try to get Deshaun Watson. I'm telling you they are. But all right, you guys, hail or salute to the Commanders. Peace.